Hi, everyone, and welcome to a freezing cold day in Los Angeles. My name is Angel. If this is your first video with me, welcome. I make videos on religious trauma. I grew up in a cult called the Children of God, and a few house cleaning things because I generally forget them. Please click like and subscribe, and I also have a religious trauma course, which I will link below. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about the topic of anger, and this is in response to a question that was left on my video last week. And then I got a really lovely email kind of explaining the question a little bit more. And the gist of it is that this person is struggling with feeling anger. And some of it comes from knowing that the people who are still in the religion, in the abusive religion, view him as an enemy and are still like praying against him or praying for him, even though he's done nothing wrong. And I want to talk about first the fact that the ability to feel anger and to identify it is a really good thing. A lot of times in these religious communities, they don't allow you to feel anger. You have to suppress it. And the only things that you are allowed to feel is positivity and forgiveness. And that makes you this lovely little victim where you only have positive feelings, and when you feel bad about something, you forgive the person. And that's a big way that they keep you completely suppressed. They actually, anger is a really normal and natural human emotion, and they stamp it out because they want you to feel less of what is inconvenient for them. So the fact that you can feel anger is good, definitely. And the fact that you are trying to understand how to express it in a healthy way is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So please give yourself credit for that. And then in response to what to do with the feeling of anger from knowing these people are praying for you when you've done nothing wrong, I have a story about that. And this has to do with somebody who was very close to me, who I looked up to for the duration of my life in the cult, which was 23 years, like since birth. And this person was somebody that I wanted approval from and that I looked up to. They were a leader and they were close to me. And I decided to leave, and I told this person, and they were very disappointed with me. And I ended up leaving, and I still felt really guilty. And this person kept on being like, well, I'm praying for you, and when you're ready, you'll come back. Or when you see the error of your ways, you'll come back. Or, when you're ready to at least turn some part of your life around, then I'm here for you. And it got to the point that I got the same thing. I got super annoyed and I got really angry, and I thought, well, I'm doing nothing wrong. Why are you still here, like pulling through for me in the hopes that I'm going to think exactly like you do? So what I did is I stopped and I wrote down what I thought I was good for, or the things that I was proud about myself for, and then the things that would make this person proud. And what showed up on the page was all the things that I was doing that was new and that was building my self-confidence and investing in myself and educating myself. All of those things I thought were good, and those things built my confidence, and I was learning to respect myself. In order to win this other person's approval or to have this other person respect me, the way that this person would respect me is if I went back into the cult, if I stopped educating myself. And the cult I grew up in was a sex cult. So if I went back in and had sex with the leaders of the cult, those things were the things that this person would have been proud of me for. And once I wrote it down and really saw the difference of like, it was so obvious of like, everything that this person would respect me for is trash and it's abusive. And it requires me having no sense of self, going back to the only two emotions I was allowed, which is positivity and forgiveness. And that's it. No further development. I would actually have to devolve in order for this person to respect me, as opposed to myself. Like, in order for me to respect myself, I couldn't ever do that. And I had to continue down my road that I was walking, which eventually has led me to being this person. And I like this person. But I think the important thing to do is to sit down and really think about, like, when people are like, oh, we're praying for you, or we feel so bad for you, or, you're doing things so badly, we're here, we're ready to forgive you, come back to the fold. Think about what you would actually have to do to earn these people's respect. And I think that when you write it down and you find out about it, you realize that their approval is not worth having. And them thinking well of you is not worth having, because you would need to devolve in order for them to think well of you. So allowing yourself to just make that break in your mind, so that when they say, "Oh, we're praying for you," you can say thanks, because you know that you no longer hold them in high regard. And for me, once I did this practice, I realized where this person was mentally and where I was mentally. And I was like, you know what? I've evolved past this person mentally, so I can just say thanks and leave it and kind of sever that relationship and start working on the relationship that I have with myself. And it doesn't mean that the anger doesn't come up. But this leads me to my second point of learning what to do with the anger. So firstly, recognizing that it's a good thing, and doing that practice of um, understanding what you would need to do for them to respect you versus you respecting yourself. And then secondly, also learning how to express your anger, because expressing it is a good thing. Because when you feel annoyed or you feel anger start to come up and you suppress it, you are continuing the pattern of religious abuse, which is that of suppression of self. So there is nothing wrong with you. You are not bad. The world is not bad. You feeling anger is not bad. If you feel anger because you were abused, that is a good thing. You should be angry. And that for me was a big realization of like, you know what? I should be angry at the people that raised me in a cult started by a pedophile. I should be angry that I was very specifically deprived of education. I should be angry that I was taught that I was an object. Those are things that are worth being angry about. So find out what it is that you're angry about, identify it, and make sure that that anger is not turning back on yourself, because that would be misplaced anger. You can be angry, you can feel angry, identify why, and then when it comes up, you can decide what to do with it, because anger is just energy. So it's good that you know how to feel it and then learn how to express it. And my whole thing is, if you're not harming yourself and you're not harming others when the anger shows up, great. Then your expression is great and it's healthy. So for me, the way that I didn't hurt myself or others is I would write about what I was angry about. And that was also really helpful because it helped me get a clear line through in my head of what exactly it was I was angry about and how I wished it would go, or who I wished had helped me, or what I wish I knew, all of that. And it starts to give me a lot of clarity when I do that. So it's a really helpful practice. The other things I've done, obviously, boxing classes, cycling classes, anything to get energy, that anger energy out of the body. And sometimes I'll be in a boxing class and I'll be like, this person is the leader. And it's great. And that's healthy because you are not being harmed and no one else is being harmed. So allow yourself to feel upset about things that you should feel upset about. Allow yourself to find ways to express it, because there are healthy ways to express anger. And also really allow yourself to walk away from the people who trigger your anger, because they will say, like, we're here to love and support you. We're here, we're positive, we're praying for you, and you've done nothing wrong. And there is no reason for them to be saying this except that they are trying to continue to make you feel shame so that you feel enough that you come back. And I think that knowing that is a useful thing, because then you can just say, thank you so much, and continue walking your path. The last thing that I will say is that your ability to feel different emotions is really good, and it's a sign that you are healing from religious trauma, because again, religious trauma just suppresses anything that they don't like. And especially with the people who are like, we're positive, we love you, we forgive you, when you've done nothing wrong, because they're only allowed to feel positive emotion, they won't know when they're being evil, they won't know when they're being abusive, they won't know when they're being emotionally manipulative or hateful or just pure evil, because they are only allowed to recognize positivity, forgiveness, and service. And so for you, as you are walking away from that and things are starting to come up, like anger or emotional turmoil, or these quote bad feelings that you've been taught are bad, that's actually really good, because now you are able to start feeling more emotions that are natural on the human emotion spectrum. And the more that you can feel anger, have it, let it crest, release it, the more you will be able to feel joy, the more you'll be able to feel like real happiness or real peace. So it is a healthy thing to go through what it is that you are going through. But do those practices and see if they help you. I'm always open to hearing how it goes and your feedback. Um, but remember that you are not evil. The world is not evil. You are not bad for feeling anger. That is a normal and natural thing. Let yourself learn how to express it and how you best express it. And make sure that you are not harming yourself and harming others. But as long as you're not doing those things, finding a way to express anger is actually incredibly healthy, and it is a sign of recovery. So I really appreciate the question. I know that a couple of you have reached out. I really appreciate um, knowing that you watch the videos and knowing that they help. And please feel free to ask questions and congratulate yourself again for being here, because it is hard work. I know that, but you are doing it. So, congratulations to you, and I hope to see you guys next week.